Sorry about that. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can see me. Welcome to this week's live crafting chat. It's a little bit different. I feel like I've been on the go for 2 hours already. I kind of had to do some things. It looks a little bit usual from this camera angle, just from this camera angle. So welcome to everybody. I was watching the chat. I kind of got sidetracked, so sorry for, a little late. But I was watching the chat come through and so many of you are in early. So welcome. Especially to those of you that are channel members. Thank you so much for coming back each week. And for those of you that aren't channel members, welcome back as well. It is definitely, it's been a crazy week here. So Tim's homesick, Abby's back to school, so she's not sick anymore, which is great. And it's just like this whole outside of this room is not normal for us. Okay, so it's just like I'm tired and I could use a really good night's sleep. Let me know in the chat if you could use a day spa. I mean, I think I'd put normally I'd be like, nah, that's not for me. But today I'm just like, yeah, I could totally go for massage, a spa, steam room, the whole shebang. I could totally just go for the full pamper treatment today. So I thought Tim, will he still top up your tea later? No, he won't be coming in. So he is not coming in. Good morning to Leanne says good morning, Chantel, mods, and the live chat. Good morning, Leanne and the mods. Leanne is a mod. Sally is a mod. I think Jackie is a mod, but whether she's here or not, I'm not sure. Our mods are here to help us. So what they do, if the mods say something, consider it being said from me, unless they're being rude, and then it's all them. But they're here to help you out. They're here to drop links. Mods are the only one who can drop links. They are also here to help protect the chat. If that they're like our little maremas. Sorry, mods. I don't know if you like to be referred to as maremas. And we're keeping those foxes away from the gate. So these guys are here to just jump on things as soon as they can. And Sally, yeah, I was looking at when you said you when I saw you come in, I'm thinking I thought she said she wasn't coming today, but I'm so glad that you're feeling up to being here. So it is so awesome to have a really great team of mods to help. It makes it so I can just focus on you guys and what we're doing, and I think it is just awesome. So many of you are here. I'm just trying to catch up. Kelly Powell, welcome to the chat. And Angela Beersheba Farm is back from Bendigo, and she's in the chat. So if it's good and positive, yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So let me know in the chat if you were here for last week's live stream or you've had a chance to watch the replay or you're in the replay. Let me know in the chat or the comments if you were here to watch us diz the 11T1 windmills Batt last week. So just to put a yes into the chat. Oh, Sally said it was only because she had an appointment, but not until later now. So that is awesome. Morning, Rebecca. Are you in trouble? No, I don't believe you are. Not yet anyway. So we've got some yeses coming through. So that is awesome. My plan was to spin that Batt this week, make it all gone and spin it into pretty yarns, but this week has been crazy and I haven't gotten as much spinning done as I would like. Now I've got a little bit of spinning done just about every day, but not at all of it. So I still have this much left to spin. So I'm probably about halfway through what we dizzed up. So I've got this much left to spin. So it's like a little half of the second. Is that the second big one? Yeah. And then we've got this big one and then another little one. So I'm just keeping them in the order that we dizzed them. I'm really hoping they're in the order that I dizzed them. So Molly, that's okay. So last week we dizzed a Batt into roving and made it into little nests. So this week I have set up the spinning wheel cam. So I've got my Majacraft Suzy Pro is here. I've had to like move out my chair. Like we had to make room. This is a little tiny space and there was no room for a spinning wheel. Oh, I've got fluff in my eye now. So I have definitely got it all set up, ready to go. But the first thing I wanted to do was just a little bit of wheel maintenance. I hope that's okay. So I noticed yesterday when I was spinning that the bobbin was just starting to make just a little bit of noise, not a lot, enough that it annoys me. And one of the reasons I love my Majacraft wheels is because they have a sealed bearing unit. They don't clunk, they don't whiz, they don't make any crazy noises. The only real noise that they make is the sound of the wind going through the flyer. That's kind of it. So I just thought, I was like, oh, I'll get all that done before we start. But then I was like, you know what? No, I can show you guys how I do just a little bit of wheel maintenance. So now every wheel that you have is going to need wheel maintenance. But different wheels, different brands have different requirements. The Kromskys require a lot of waxes. The Ashfords require a lot of oils. And the Majacrafts require Vaseline. So the other day I was looking for my little tub of Vaseline. I couldn't find it. And Abby's going out to do the grocery shopping and I've just yelled out the door, hey Abs, can you grab me another little jar of Vaseline? And the new neighbors are kind of just standing at the fence. They were talking to each other near the fence and our fence there is a little bit short. So I just watched these two heads just turn and look at me and smirk. And I'm like, it's for my spinning wheel. And then went scurrying back inside. But yeah, so I've just got a little bit of Vaseline in here. I've got just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and I've just got like a little cotton wipe. So all I'm going to be doing is cleaning the sort of the area that the bobbin goes. I'm nervous about using the proper words because you guys are filthy. Let me just look in the chat. Yeah, see, Sally's already started. And do you know what, Sally? You're correct. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Like, but we have to be mindful. Oh dear, why do some spinning words have to have two meanings? Honestly, Sally is a mod and is not talking about other things. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So what we're going to do, firstly, oh, hang on, I've just got to turn my phone off. Is we're just going to have a little look at the wheel. So yeah, Molly's cacking herself. Good job, Molly. Good job, Molly. So first things first is we're going to drop over, like I'm going to be like twisting and stuff. So sort of bear with me. I don't know how well the audio is going to go. So let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to be able to sort of still see the chat, but I'm really relying heavily on the mods today because the spinning wheel's just here and I'm going to be facing this other way a little bit. So, okay. All right, so let's go. First of all, I've got my socks on. And why do I have socks on? Because I don't like shoes on my spinning wheel. And that's a personal preference. It's your spinning wheel. You can put shoes on your spinning wheel if you want. I personally prefer socks or barefoot. But when I'm on camera, it's never barefoot. Because believe it or not, places like Twitch and stuff like that, barefoot is actually against their terms of service. I don't know if it's the case for YouTube, but see, that's making a little bit of noise. Not the biggest fan. So, all right. So first thing that I'm going to do is I need to take the flyer off and the bobbin off. So to take the flyer off, I just sort of hold this and twist that. So that's it. And then I just, oops, I went the wrong way, spin it off. So I just treadle it off. It's the fastest way to do it. So I've got my fly bar and then I just drop off the bobbin and I like to flip it over just whatever I can to get it out of the way. And then that just slides off. Okay, so this is where we're up to so far with this guy. He's looking pretty cute. Okay. Now we just get like, I've got the Vaseline, but the first thing I'm going to do is I just want to clean off anything else that I may already have. So just a couple of little, I've just got one of these little pump bottles, but it's just isopropyl alcohol. And I just give it a little, I just use the you know, I've got a spinning wheel. Why not utilize the fact that it spins? So you could just go like this if you want with it not spinning, but I'm like lazy. So let's just clean that. And don't forget to also make sure you get anything out of the thread as well. And now I don't use any oils on this wheel. It's only Vaseline, but friction does create, you can't see that. There's so much white. Hang on a second. Where's the camera? Still again, there you go. Friction creates mess. So you've got like a lot of goop. So the goop comes off. And then we go back over here. And we just get, you don't need much. You just need a little tiny bit of Vaseline. So just the tiniest little amount in the end of your finger. And you just rub that on to this. And again, I just utilize the fact that the spinning wheel is a spinning wheel. And just make sure it is all around. Now I just wipe any excess off with my finger. Just make sure there's not too much on there. But you do want a bit because it's kind of the point. All right. Then we put our bobbin back on. Put the little doohickey back on there. I'll have to play with that. And then lock that in, and that's done. That's not to say that the spinning wheel won't make any noise, but it'll make less noises. So that's really, really the sort of just a little quick refresh of the wheel. There's other places that you can add in your Vaseline. You can pop some in this sort of little gap in here. You don't need to do that very often. It is mostly, for me, I found that it's mostly where the bobbin sits that needs the most care. Also, just double check the screws where your treadles are. Just make sure that they're always tight in. Sometimes a little hinge may actually need just a little dab of Vaseline as well. And again, wipe off first and then add on the fresh stuff. So that's not lazy, it's clever. Thank you, Jenna. I've got my face here now. Oh, look. Hang on. Just fix that up. Hey, Ren, welcome to the chat. That's exactly right. This is a Suzy Pro, a Majacraft Suzy Pro. It is a custom model. I had it custom colored into purple. If you don't want purple, you can choose whatever color you want, or it actually for a fee. But if you don't want that, then it's just a dark green is its standard color. Okay, so can everybody see this okay? Like, it looked all right to me when I was setting it up. And can you hear me all right and all that sort of stuff now that I'm sort of like not near everything? I've just got to move this so I can get my fluffs closer. I do have water. I probably don't have enough water. At some stage I might have to run out and grab some more. So it's Maja, Majacraft. You can check them out on my website. Purple is life. But where's that? Yes, I agree with you. You can see and hear me. Thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate that. Oh, I've got a little gem as well. I love my little gem. It was my first Majacraft wheel. This is my second. So yes. Yeah, so it's Majacraft is Majacraft. Okay. So, I mean, we've got to just set everything back up again. Did I make that? Is that too tight now? Nope. Just feed it all through the little gaps. So there we go. Unbalanced floor here. I think I am. Okay. I'm just going to join the floofs up and then I can chat once I'm sort of started. So we'll get it all going and then I can read the chat a bit better. I would have said it's a real wheel. Why not call it Majacraft? I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe it was the original company's owners' initials, MA and JA. So I think that's the case. So yeah. All right. So if you've got any questions for me, throw them in the chat. I can see the chat. I just can't bring the chat on screen without, twisting across my body. So yeah, let me know. Oh, yes, Emma, welcome to the chat. I hope your foot is okay. You had a twisty adventure. So yeah, so I mean, I believe that's the truth about the name. That's the rumor. I should probably check next time I'm chatting with Majacraft. That would make sense if I actually checked with somebody who knew what the go was. So yeah. All right. So at the moment, I'm on this one. They take a fairly good while to spin through each one. So let me know if you get bored. I've got my crochet handy, and I can always grab that as well. The camera is still set up for the table. It's a little bit changed, but not enough change that I couldn't change craft fairly quickly and easily if need be. So, yeah, so this is it. We're spinning. Oh my goodness. So Bendigo was last week, and I sent out a discount code to everybody who was on my email list. So lots of people took up the free post that I offered, which was fantastic. The Chow order is in, so we're just waiting now on all that to arrive. And I'm so keen to check out these swivel 360 cables. There will be a video. I will make a video, a bit of a review on the 360s, try and get some good shots so that you can see what they're like if you want to wait until I've had my hands on them before you buy them. So yeah. Angela asks, how do you figure out how thick to make it? That's an excellent question, Angela. It depends on it. Like if I have a plan, if I know what I want to make, sometimes it comes down to the fiber itself. Some fibers really don't like to be drafted fine. Like if it's a little bit compacted and it's a bit messy, I tend to do those ones a little bit thicker. But I'm a lace knitter predominantly. I don't really crochet with my hand spun all that often. I find that I get more bang for my buck when I knit it. So I tend to knit my hand spun more than I crochet it. And so I've got like this 100-odd gram Batt of beautiful colors and sparkly. And I was like, oh, I definitely want to go sort of to a medium lace weight, like not a fine lace weight, but just a medium lace weight. So that I can at least try and make like a small shawl or something out of it, because we're putting a lot of work into making this yarn. I think I would like it to be something that I use. So that's pretty much it. But if something's a bit lumpy and bumpy, I do tend to go a bit thicker. One of the actual it's a very common problem is when you're first learning to spin, you can't do the fine. Or usually you can't do the fine. And so your goal is to get it as fine as possible and make it as fine as possible. And then try and just, get it as fine as you can. But then there's a problem. Going back again to the larger, loftier yarns is actually a lot of thought and effort. And so trying to go back to sort of the chunkier yarns, like I'm just going to just pause for a second. Like this one here, I was trying to, that's blown out hard. I was trying to go a little bit thicker on that one just because of what it was. I wanted the loft. I wanted the soft squish. I wanted it more like a sock weight. And then I realized I was actually automatically spinning it finer again. But there's these amazing things that you can buy. They're called spin gauges. You can grab them off Etsy. Heaps of places make them. I have a really lovely one from Lumographica where it's actually etched in, like it's laser etched in, where you can actually lay your strand across like this template, and it'll tell you, okay, so if you've got 2 of those, it'll make a yarn this weight. If you've got 3 of those, it'll make a yarn this weight. And so it's a really good guide for that, just to help you. And you just sort of pause and rest it on there and then keep going and make sure your yarn's the same all the way through. But this is kind of my default spin, if that makes sense. It's my default yarn. Game Widow says Bendigo was fantastic, spent dollars, got fluffs, 2 spindles accidentally followed me home. Okay. It's not summer here, Ren. It's winter. The last time I saw you spinning on your wheel is back before you got the shack. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've spun on the wheel on camera. Because it's a whole different setup. Like there's this the roof camera. I've actually had to put it onto a tripod to bring it down closer. Had to move lighting and all sorts of things so you can see. So it's a very different setup in here. I took a photo and popped it up on Instagram if you want to see sort of the view from the door. It's pretty different. You'll have to share a pic. I missed that from Emma's Hall on the Fun Zone, please. Freaky says when you first start learning, you end up with something called art yarn, but once you do good spinning, the yarn is harder later on. Yep. Frances is spinning on her eel right now. That is awesome. Yeah, look, one of the things with calling beginner spun art yarn, I call it beginner spun. It's what you've spun while you're learning the skills, because your goal is not art yarn, and art yarn is called art yarn for a reason. It's technically difficult, especially if you want it to be able to be washed, or you've got like beehives or Turkish knots or so many amazing things that are art yarn. And I think it's a disservice to those that do art yarn, and it's a disservice to beginners, especially if their goal is not art yarn. It was something that really did bug me when I first began, and everyone was like, oh, you've made art yarn. I'm like, but I hate art yarn. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Leanne, for dropping the link of my Instagram. If you're not following me over on Instagram, I would love it if you could. I do try to get some behind the scene photos. Some of the photos that we take during live streams end up there. So there's lots of the queen cow blankets, so the close-ups of stitches and things like that. That's all there. It's a good spot for that stuff. Molly says, I wanted to go to Bendigo last week, but came down with the flu. Oh, no. Gosh, Francis, I need to... Lisby's saying that she needs an upgrade from her Nano to the 6. Yeah, I didn't end up getting the Nano. But I'm looking at the 6 thinking the 6 is looking really good. There's also another brand, Deadless. Is the brand Deadless or is the model Deadless? I don't know. It's another company that are making lightweight electric spinning wheels. And I love the look of those as well. So yeah. Gamer Widow says beginner yarn is textured yarn. Yes, I would agree with that. And it's also really tricky to replicate. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a difference between textured and art yarn. And calling something textured is correct. Calling something art yarn is not correct. Art yarn has to be planned. It's like any good art project. It's got to be planned. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize that calling something art yarn was one of my soapbox things. Turns out, yeah, it is. Game Winner says Deadless is the brand. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I've got a friend who's got one and she absolutely loves it. So I'm just like, I want in on that. Can you guys hear the whirring of this wheel, or is it okay? Because, I mean, the noise doesn't bother me, but, wind does blow when you spin the wheel. So, yeah. It is. I mean, you guys could probably tell me easier than me if I'm ready to move the bobbin, but I'm not yet. So there's these really cool things that you can stick on in your bobbin. They're like these mirrors that you can put on the ends so that you can actually see where the fiber is, like especially when it's sort of down sort of this way. I can't quite see it yet because you don't want to load it up too high and then have it just fall down. It actually messes with your yarn because it's not being kept under tension. So the trick is to sort of spin it and load it as evenly as possible. Like I just make like little tiny ridges. Laura says, I'm so happy to see you spin. Thank you, Laura. I've been spinning all week. Like the spinning wheel lives out in the lounge room now. It used to live out in the shack when the shack was here. My husband's like, "Is this going in the craft room?" I'm like, I don't have a craft room anymore, honey. And he just looked at me, and I've gone, "That's my studio and my work room." Like the majority of this room is what you can see when I'm on the bigger camera. So there's no room just to store craft in here anymore. This used to be the house. This used to be my craft room before we had to move the shack. She's ignored me. Who ignored you? I'm sorry. I can't see. I can't see everything. Sorry. The postage on the dead list is not cheap. No, it's really not. I wish auto winders were not so expensive. Yeah. What's the there's a name for them. There's a company that make just the best ones for everybody. And yes, it's so expensive. And the catch is you have to use their bobbins as well. So if you've already got an armload of bobbins like I do, I've got about 15 bobbins. Once you use one of those, oh, my brain won't give me the name. It's actually a person's name. Oh, bye-bye. Yeah, it's what are the names of the ones that you can get, and you can buy them for all the different wheels but they basically they've got little cogs, and it slowly moves this upwards, forwards and backwards while you're spinning. It's such a clever piece of engineering for a spinning wheel. It really is like the next logical step. Like a spinning wheel is basically a fancy twisting machine. That's what a spinning wheel is. So you've got your spindle, and then you've got your spinning wheel. Your spindle, you've got to make it spin and then wind it on. The spinning wheel makes your feet make it spin and wind it on. That's basically all you're doing. Woolly winder. Oh, Stacey, thank you. Yes, the woolly winder. I would love a woolly winder, but and Francis as well. Yes, I would love one, but they're just so expensive, and I wouldn't be able to use any of my pretty bobbins. I have to use the woolly winder bobbins. And it just feels like there's a lot of people like, oh, I just get it for plying. And you're just like, it kind of feels, I don't know. Like if I bought this thing, I don't want to use it just for plying, right? So who in the chat here has a spinning wheel? Just write me. Or even write what kind of wheel you've got. I'm very curious. I'm spinning today. It's a spinning theme chat today. I feel weird on my side. I don't like it. I don't like looking over my shoulder like this. But this is what we've got to do. Because I was like, oh, I could probably move the other camera around, but that was a huge job. I was just like, you know what? I love you guys, but I'd rather twist my neck for a couple of hours than have to rerun all the cabling. Okay, so Molly has a wheel, Stacey has a wheel, Francis has got a wee Peggy and an eel 6. Lisby's got an eel nano. Nice. Molly is very much a beginner. Molly, we were all very much beginners. Everybody. And everybody learns at a different pace. So, you know, like, I think I got this thing, like, we all have to be beginners at everything. And we all have to remember that we were a beginner. I hate it when I see in these craft groups and stuff online, and somebody asks a question, and then they responded with snark. People are snarky because it's such a beginner question. Like, how could you not know that? And it's like, they obviously don't know it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have risked this. Freaky's got an electric one, but needs a stronger motor for it using his Turkish Snyder spindle. Bub's got an Ashford Traveller. Chintama's got a Joy 2 and a Little Gem. Caroline's got a Majacraft Rose. Rebecca has got an electric eel, a Lewitt S10, an Ashford Joy, and a Little Gem. Nice job. Melissa says, you're making me want to buy a spinning wheel. I just cannot master the spindles. I'll tell you something, Melissa. I actually spun first on a wheel. Like, there's a lot of people like, oh, you need to be able to spin on a spindle before a wheel. I didn't. I learned on a wheel first and then went back and used the skills that I learned from wheel spinning on a spindle. I think they do translate to each other. And I think the reason people suggest it is because spindles are cheaper, but wheel spinning is a different craft. I think I find it very relaxing. And this is the other thing. I got to keep remembering to look at you guys because I'm over here and I'm just going to start like, yes. And because I spin, I don't know, can you see that my feet are moving, but they're not moving super fast. I like in my brain, I have like a little rhythm that I hum to myself to keep the speed the same. And I'm like sort of sitting here and it's like I can hear the music in my head, which makes me sound like a psycho. I know it, but I'm spinning and that's what happens when I spin. I sort of zone out and it's just like I was at a craft show and I was spinning on a wheel there and I was sort of just spinning and my job was just to spin. And I was sitting there spinning on a wheel, just sort of looking out at the world. And this bloke sort of popped right into my line of vision. And he was like, you look like you're about to fall asleep. And I'm like, yeah, I probably could. He's like, and I bet you could keep spinning too. And I'm like, probably. Laura says, that's why I come to your craft time. You're so encouraging and never condescending. I try not to be. I'm not perfect, but I definitely try not to be. Stacey has got a Tara, a traditional, an Eclipse, and a million spindles. Yeah, I'm not going to be listing out my spindles, let me tell you. Molly says, I did buy a Sleeping Beauty in pieces from an antique shop. Molly, that was the wheel I learned to spin on, was a Sleeping Beauty. It was a beautiful wheel. It was absolutely beautiful. But I definitely prefer, I've got body issues, like I've got busted knees, I've got a sore back, all that kind of stuff. So I like having the double treadle and so I can sit straight on. So I don't have to sort of have one foot on an angle and plant the other foot on the ground sort of thing. Melissa says so much practice. Yeah, it does take practice, but like, you know as well, Melissa, mastering anything, either a spinning wheel or a skill or typing or musical instrument, anything, it all takes practice. Chintamani says, B. Sheba's got a rose and a Ashford traditional. Rebecca's also got an antique Saxon style. Nice. Rebecca's got lots of wheels. Chintamani says, I had a top whirl and I hated it. I loved the wheel when I got it. And then I fell in love with Turkish spindles. I found spinning on the wheel so much easier than the top whirl. Yeah. Freaky says she's not perfect and tries not to be. Did I hear that right? I don't know if I said that. I don't know. We'd have to play back and check. Yes, Sheba's right, Melissa. A wheel could be easier than spindles. You need to find out what works for you. I'll bring a wheel to retreat. I'll bring this wheel, and you can sit and you can have a go. Now, I was actually looking at the retreat thing the other day, everybody, and I didn't get the email sent out on Friday because it's taking me longer than I thought to put it together. But if you're coming to the retreat, final payments need to be made by the 15th of August. And so just to the same place that you paid the rest of it, but the email will be coming out the next day or so. Also, there is still one space available. So if you want to come to retreat here in Queensland and you haven't decided, we have one final space left. Where is it? I have a shacked. Teresa saying I have a shacked. That's right. A Rick Reeves, Saxony, an EL6, and a Deadless Starling and Magpie. Ooh, so you've got both the eel and the Deadless. Which one's your favorite? Are they, can we compare them like that? Like, are they just different? Like, let me know. Kathy says, when I'm making a new crochet pattern, I have to keep practicing to get it right. Absolutely. Oh, Deadless by far. Wow. Okay. Do you have any anything that you would point out to be the major differences? I'm not trying to put you on. I am putting you on the spot, but I'm not trying to like make you bag one or the other, but is there something about the deadlifts that just makes you go, yeah, no, these are way better because of, whatever? I don't know. Actually, I've never touched one. It's on my list. I've got this list of things I would love to get, but I'm not getting any of the things on my list till I finish sorting out my house so I can work out what I've got and what I want to get rid of and make some space. Teresa's saying I'll probably sell my 6. Okay. It's kind of sad because I think eel were around a lot longer, but the deadlifts came in with just a superior product. I think that's right. It's quieter, the speed and the size of the bobbin. Okay. For me, the big thing with my eel 5.1, it was very loud. The Nano was supposed to be a lot quieter than that, but did I get the Nano? I think I've got a really, really tiny one that's just, it's too small. Like it's based, I may as well use a spindle. Then there's another one that came out that's not the latest one. Anyway, I can't remember. But yeah, they're not quiet. Like I like to be able to spin and watch TV without having to bump the volume up. That's how quiet I like my wheel to be. Like I'm hearing a little squeak here, but it's just my treadle. I should have flipped it and checked the treadles, but I didn't. I'll do it later. Yeah, they are, Francis, you're right. They're totally different price points. Absolutely. It's like comparing a Merlin tree to a Majacraft. The Merlin tree make the cutest little wheels. They're compact, they're tiny, they're double treadle or single treadle, if depending on what you want. They're such the cutest wheels, but they're friction driven, so they're loud. But they're also like $500 brand new. Whereas the Majacraft wheels are the Rolls Royce. They're beautiful, they're quiet, they're lovely to work with. Their after sales service is phenomenal. Parts are easy to get, but they're $1,500. So you kind of, sometimes you get what you pay for. Rebecca managed to get herself a woolly winder for less than $200 in the US. Oh my God, that is crazy. Let me look here. Is practice code word for frogging. I like that. Will there be roving available to buy if we want to try spinning on the wheel at retreat? I've got plenty of stuff that I can bring for you guys to have a play with. You guys don't need to, at retreat, when you come to retreat, if you want to have a play on the wheel, what we can do is we can maybe put a little, I don't know, if there's a few of you that want to have a go, maybe put a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A roster, and I'll just put in like a big thing of fluffs, and then I'll bring extra bobbins so that you can have a turn and then have another turn later, and you don't have to empty the bobbins. I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I'll see if I can get my little gem up and working as well. It needs a repair job, so if I can, I'll bring both. How's that sound? And then everyone can share them around a bit better. But yeah, I've got fluff. I have so much fluff. I'll go up to the storage shed. I've got like 500-liter containers just of fluff. So yeah. Does it sound like a question? I don't know. Deb's in the chat. Hi, Deb. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good way we could do it. Just sort of let people book out a bit of time. I'll probably block it out in like 2-hour blocks, so you've got time to sit and have a good or even like day sections. It depends on if I can get both wheels going. You know, like half a day Saturday, half a day Sunday, whatever. I suppose it'll depend on how many people actually want to have a go. Excuse me. I've got a raspy voice going on. Don't want that. You guys, the queen is so big now that even folded up, it's I'm just looking at it, it's huge. Like, but it's actually like, sorry, I got a frog in my throat. I actually am loving having a break from it. It sounds so bad because like all my craft this month has been spinning because of Tour de Fleece. So I was like, look, you know what? I wanted to get this done. This was my goal, to have this spun and plied. I did not set any other goal. I was like 10 minutes a day, should get that done. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. So this is all cream. This is all cream, but I'm loving it. Now, if you guys are wondering how far, I'm still got this much of that original thing to go. Lace spinning takes a long time because we're making hundreds and hundreds of meters. I'm hoping for like 500 to 600 meters when I'm all done and dusted. That would be awesome. I probably won't get it, but that would be amazing if I could get 500 to 600 meters once it's plied. Let me have a look here. Oh, Deb's been here all along. Sorry, Deb. Leanne saying, and a big hello to the lurkers and the replay watchers. If you are watching the replay, pop in the chat if you have a spinning wheel and what kind of spinning wheel you have. And also, like, you know, our tastes change, right? Like, so I learned on a Sleeping Beauty, and then decided I wanted the double treader wheel. And so I got the little gem, which I love to pieces. It was a gift from my family. Then when Abby was learning to spin, I realized we were fighting over the wheel. So I bit the bullet and splurged and bought myself this one. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's because we needed another wheel. We didn't need another wheel. But anyway, so I bit the bullet and I got this one. And then I was like, you know what? I want it in purple. And you can actually get some like the guys at Majacraft are fantastic. They will actually laser etch things. So people get their initials laser etched onto the knobs. They'll get like, someone's got like the whole Lord of the Rings thing laser etched across all the wood. Like, if you can come up with the image that's clear enough, they will laser etch it onto the parts for you. Takes extra time. Like, the wheels already take 8 to 12 weeks because they're all handmade. And well, handmade, but with power tools. Okay, they're not there whittling them out. They've got lathes and all sorts of stuff. And then so they take some time to put together. But when you start going in for the custom colors and the custom art, it does definitely add more time. But also, you have an amazing piece of art as your wheel as well. So yeah, I'm just checking to make sure I'm not overloading a little section there. So one thing that I love about having pre-dizzed these bats is how easy it is to draft. So I don't need to go back in and pre-draft. So when I buy like fiber braids, depending on how they've been made and how well they've been cared for and what have you, if they're just a little bit, sometimes they're a little lightly fulled, I want to say, felty is, but they're a little lightly fulled, and so you need to pre-draft them so that your actual spin is enjoyable. There's just a little nip there. Get you out. And so, but this is just, it's opened up the fibers just so much that you can you can't, I wonder if I can, hang on a second. I've got a bobbin close up. Oh no, it's for the bobbin. It doesn't show that my hands. I wanted you to be able to have a nice close-up of the wheel filling up as well. See, look, I went to some effort for you guys. I made new things. I moved cameras and lights. There you go. But yeah, let me just check in. How do you measure it when it's spun? Okay, so once you've spun it and you've plied it, so basically, you know, it's ready to go, you wind it off either onto a nitty knotty or a skein winder, and then you wash it first. I'm in team wash it first. Now, I'm not in like team wash it to set the spin or anything like that. It's not what I like. I think you need to give it a little wash and let it dry, because when you take it off a nitty knotty, it springs up. So while you might have a 1.5 yard nitty knotty and you're like, okay, so, you know, if you count the strands and you've got like 100 strands, you know, 1.5 by 100 is 150 yards. Yay, I've got 100. And then double. Yeah, no, you don't double it. But it's like, I've got 150 yards. It's awesome. Yay. It's not really how it works, is because when you take it off the nitty knotty and it's no longer under tension, it shrinks down. So I wash it, let it dry, and then measure the length of the skein itself rather than the wind on the nitty knotty. I measure the length of the skein, and it's still rough, and then I double that, like, so it might be 90. So yeah. But I always give it a little wash first before I measure it. But same deal, you can wind it straight off onto your skein winder or onto your Swift if you've got a Swift. And then same deal, tie it all off, give it a little wash, let it dry, and then measure it. I do, and like I like to wash it because see how much my hands are touching all this fiber, because you've got me touching the fiber, you've got the person who made the bat. The bats don't get washed before they're shipped because they can't be. So you've got all these additional sort of hand grease and, you know, world germs in your yarn. A wash before you make something is not too much to ask. And it's not for like the whole setting, the twisting. I don't know if there's any science to that. But I do think that just for general cleanliness and to have a prettier end product. But then I also wash the end product before it's given as well. So just because, again, my hands have been all over it. My skin cells are on it. But yeah. Just checking the chat here. So Lisby's asking, why is the Daedalus better than the Nano 6? The answer given before was it's quieter, it's got better speeds, and it is got better bobbins. So yeah. Stacey's like, or you could just knit it straight from the bobbin. Absolutely, because it's your yarn and you can do whatever you want with it. I'm not the spinning police. I just like to wash it just because I've got greasy skin. Like I just washed my hands like just before the live stream and they're already starting up again. Like, and it's cold weather. It's not even hot. Add in hot weather, because it's overcast and rainy and winter here is what it is. It's not awesome weather. It's not my favorite. It's all right. It's, you know what? It's great movie watching weather. Sit out on the couch, doona, craft, and watch a movie. That's the great weather here. Deb. Oh my gosh. You've seen those posts as well, have you? So there are posts on Facebook that people seriously feel that if they have hand knit a garment or an item or whatever, and then washed it before they give it away, that it is somehow no longer new. Let me know in the chat if that's your thinking, or if the fact that you are finishing it by washing it actually gives a completed and better gift, which is where I am. I'm in team wash it before you gift it, you filthy animals. Yeah, that's right, Leanne. Look who's poking the bear. It's shocking that it's Deb. It's never Deb. Francis says it's great weather to stay home, but I have to go to work. Oh no. It is great weather to stay home. So Abby's got the car today, so I can't go anywhere. Oh boo-hoo. That's so terrible. And yeah. So I'm just staying home. Chintami, I agree. It's weird. Is it weird that I think it should be washed, or is it weird that washing it makes it no longer a new item? I'm definitely a wash before gifting. If it's not been worn or used, it's new, whether it's washed or not. Agreed. Washing before you gift is required. I'm definitely a wash before gifting. Kathy is wash before gift or use. Yep. And like, oh, I understand, because like some people like in these groups are like, yes, but what if I wash it in something the person reacts to, blah, blah, blah. Does that person not buy clothing from a store that they have to wash before they use? Like, it doesn't matter that they'll wash it again. Knowing you've washed it is what matters. Oh my gosh. Bub says washing is my default. Sally says unless you want them to have part of your DNA, then wash it. Kelly says I wash it before gifting. It helps check everything is how it should be. I agree. It helps you work out if it could survive another wash. I missed Artsog's point there. It's already scrolled past. I think if you wash it after you make it before giving it, so that it's clean and free of your oils and skin cells. That absolutely. Look, I'm gonna pause. There you go. I agree with that. Absolutely. It's not like you're going to wear it around the house, go to the movies in it, then come home and then wash it and then gift it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you finish making it and you wash it and you lay it out, make sure that it sits properly or the ends stay woven away. Like, yeah, you poked a bear here, didn't you? That is correct. It does also wash out possible allergens. And a wash and a block make it look lovely before gifting. I agree. Team wash. Are we all team wash? Hashtag team wash in the chat if you're team wash. Even if you've already commented, I wanted to see a sea of hashtag team wash. Or, hashtag filthy animal if you're not hashtag team wash. They're your options. They're your only options. Dolores, the stitches settle and even out. Yes, they do. They really do. Look at this, team wash. Bring it. Oh, look at that sea. The sea of team wash. I knew there was a reason I liked you guys. So I'm preaching to the choir, is basically, I should have asked this question first. Look at this. Now, there has been a time where I've like literally taken something off the hooks, like a beanie or something, and one of my brothers has just gone, thanks, and put it on their head and left. That's on them. They couldn't wait. That was not my decision. I would have washed it before gifting it, but they're like, nope, I'm good. Thank you. I'll take that now. I want it on my head. So, that's a decision they made. Look at everybody in team wash here. Ugh. Like I was like, oh man, there's fluff on these pants. It's like, it's not going to matter. There's going to be way more fluff on these pants in about 5 minutes. Oh, Abby is in the chat, and apparently Mr. O'Connor is watching. Okay, hi, Mr. O'Connor. So yeah. All right. So if we're all team wash before we gift, which I love, and how many people are here as spinners, just out of curiosity, that would consider themselves a spinner, whether it be a beginner spinner or advanced spinner or whatever? Somebody who has made some yarn, let me know. Let me look. If Dolores is daring someone to be the filthy animal, I think if they were, they would not say anything now. They would not say anything. All right, so we've got some spinners here. I have a question for you because I'm in one of these areas where I don't actually have an opinion. Are you team set the twist or just wash it? Like, some people really feel that every single piece of yarn has to be washed to set the twist. That's why they're doing it. Now, I wash it not to set the twist. I wash it because greasy hand McGee here. I don't want dirty yarn. That's why I wash it. Okay, so are you a art song? I like, seriously, if anyone was going to do it, it's either going to be you or Freaky. Like, bring it on. Okay, so do you wash your yarn to set the twist? Or do you, like, because, like, you know, Stacey jokingly said before that she just knit straight off the bobbin. Like, I've done that. I'm like, yep, I'm just making something. It doesn't matter. Like, gauge doesn't matter. And legit just knit it straight off the bobbin. I was away and didn't have any way to wind it into, like, onto a skein, into a ball, anything like that. So I'm like, straight off that. There we go. I'm going to use it. Like, you know, it was an instance. Francis says, I spin a balanced yarn, so I don't need to set the twist. That's my goal as well. So basically, people who are setting the twist tend to weight their yarn while it's wet to stretch it out and to even things out. Now, that is a generalization. I know it's not the case for everybody, but I believe weighting your yarn just ends up lining you up for disappointment later. Because what happens the first time you wash that wool, especially wool, because it has a memory. Sheep's fleece remembers its crimp. It remembers that it likes to be curly and springs up. It's like, you know, when you've got a cowlick and you wet your fringe to trim it, the second it's dry, it goes. It's one of those things. So yeah, don't weight your wool. Just hang it and let it dry in the breeze. Kerry sets the twist. Okay. Kerry 8, welcome to the chat. I had my hands full for a while. Spinning fluff, my Ashford e-spinner and a woolly winder and bobbins. Loving spinning with you. Welcome to the chat, Kerry. Yeah, I can't. My hands are full too. I can't get over and bring everyone's chats up on screen today. Game Winner says, I soak my yarn to relax the energy, especially when I'm weaving with it, but mostly because it's probably been rolling on the floor whilst plying. There's always that. So yeah, lots of yarn makers in the chat. I'm loving it. I often wonder, and I worry, you guys, because I know most people that watch these are predominantly crocheters and knitters. And just because you crochet or knit doesn't mean you spin. And just because you spin, actually, believe it or not, doesn't mean you crochet or knit. So I do get concerned that when I choose one craft over another, that I'm alienating somebody. And you guys always make me feel so good about that I haven't done that I haven't alienated, and that you're just excited and interested in seeing something different. And I love that about all of you. Dolores says, I wash to set the twist. My yarn comes off the bobbin a little squiggly. I don't weight my yarn, though. The wash is enough to settle. It absolutely is, Dolores. A little bit of energy is fine. And our goal is to spin a balanced yarn. Oh, did I get enough twist in there before I was focusing on the wrong things? So, and a way to work out if your yarn is doing what you want it to do. It's not perfect, but an option is you draw some out that's already hit your bobbin and then let it go. And you can see, does that have enough twist? And see how that did that? Like, if you let it loop, it's not, it's probably a little overspun there. It's just twisting. That's fine. But when it comes and goes all crazy like it does to actually do the initial join, then you may have a little bit too much energy in your yarn. But it's going to depend. Oh, come on, don't do this to me now. Now I can't untwist it too. All right. Get that back in the wheel. But yeah, so you can always pause and stop and have a look. But what you get at the very end will always be just a little bit different. Kerry says we were taught to block a garment after, oh, it disappeared, come back. Taught to block a garment after finishing it to set the pattern and the size. Absolutely. I am enjoying learning about all the new things, even though I may not try them. More knowledge is always a good thing. Awesome. So pigtails are okay, but yarn buff is not. Look, it depends. It depends on what your goal is. Everyone's idea of what their favorite yarn or perfect yarn is different. And you've got to think about what your end game is. Like for me, I don't have a project in mind. I'm just spinning for spinning. But you've got to be thinking about, like for me, I want a nice fine lace weight. So I need good twist, but not too heavy a twist. And I need it to be fine. But if you're doing something like a sock yarn, you want a bit of a, and you don't want to mix nylon with it, you'd want something that would equate to sort of a 3 to 4 ply, and you would like some high twist on that to give you some extra strength in your yarn. It's going to come down to what you need your yarn for. So yeah. Chintami, I spin to spin. Yeah, I spin to spin. I don't spin to make yarn to, I've got whole crates of hand spun yarn that I don't know what I'm going to do with because I spun to spin. Depending on what I intend to use my yarn for dictates how much twist. Exactly. Sock yarn, I'm aimed for relatively high. Yes. Lace weight, a bit lower. DK is usually a little soft and low as well. You want a nice squish. If you're going for DK, you tend to want squish. So yeah. Memphis says, I watch all sorts of craft videos, even though I only crochet and knit. Always great to see others displaying their crafting creativity. Yeah. Look, I love making stuff. I love sharing what I've made. I love giving away hand spun yarn. Not so much hand dyed anymore, but yeah, hand spun yarn. I love making stuff. And we don't always have a million hours to do these things that we want to do. So you've got to enjoy every step of the process. So for me, it was like I got that beautiful Batt from 11E1 Windmills. And how could I increase my enjoyment with that one piece of fiber? So that 100-gram Batt. It's about just around 4 ounces. And okay, so we dizzed the Batt into roving to make it beautiful and easy to spin, to make the spin step more enjoyable for me. Some people love to spin straight off a Batt. I don't. So I do this, which you don't have to do. Some people will rip a handful off the Batt and spin that, and that is 100% okay. I prefer to do this because I like to make yarn that looks like this. And then, make the yarn, do that step. And then I'm going to lace knit with this. And I'm even thinking maybe some beads just to add more sparkle. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't have a pattern in mind yet. Dolores says, sometimes I spin to spin. Sometimes I have a plan. Me too. But for this one, no plan. Will you ever attempt to dye the yarn, seeing as doctors say no more hand dyeing? Oh, attempt a foot dye. Oh my gosh. No. That's no. Kerry says, I like spinning from the fold. Absolutely. There's actually just posted a thing into the Fun Zone from Ply Magazine, put out a thing about spinning from the fold. And there are some great advantages to spinning from the fold. And I remember a friend of mine had gotten some crazy clown bar fiber, and it was just an absolute mishmash of color. And she tried spinning it like this. Because she had kilos and kilos of it. It was a crazy amount of yarn. And then she spun it from the fold and it just made this amazing yarn. Whereas spinning it in the colors didn't work, spinning like all the other methods she tried, but then when she spun it from the fold and blended all of the color together, it looked fantastic. Like, try all the things. Don't rule something out. It's not my favorite. I personally don't like holding my hand in that position for that long. And so it's not a technique I use, but there are reasons to do it. And everyone should know how to do something, even if they don't like it. Sally, I do actually. I have about they're 500. They're 250-gram bags. So I've got about 750 grams that I'm aware of. I don't actually pink beads would work with this yarn. I was thinking gold, but pink would work. Oh my gosh, maybe I will use up some of those beads. Maybe I could bag some into like some bulk bags, like 100-gram bags, and sell those on the website just to move it. They are such cute beads, honestly. Anyway. Freaky says, I learned today. Oh, hang on. I felt it just loosen in my hand. Hang on a second. Oh, no. There it went. Okay. Here we go. I always freak a little bit when I lose the end of the yarn, because there are times when you can't find it and you're like there with a soft toothbrush trying to tease it out again. All right. Let's break that off. Yeah, I definitely think the treadles need a little lubrication. Oh, in the chat, where are we? Yeah, we did. I did. I put it in there like last night or this morning or something. I saw it come up somewhere else and I was like, oh my gosh, we were talking about from the fold last week. So, yeah. How often do I oil the wheel? I never oil this wheel. It's a Majacraft wheel. I don't use oil on it. At the very start, we did a little bit of preparation. We use Vaseline. So yeah, I don't use oil on my Majacraft wheels. They're a solid bearing system. They don't require oil, and oil is actually bad for them. So the other thing is I'm up on like an uneven floor here a little, so it could even just be the fact that it's not quite even. I'm just having a... No, it's the hinge under my foot. I can feel it. So yeah, I will. Can you guys hear it, or is it just me that can hear it? Thinking of where are you guys? I'm like, yeah, what Sally has written is technically correct. That's exactly what I did do right at the start. I showed you how to take everything off and clean it up and add, Vaseline back on and go again. I hear you more than the ticking. Yeah, it's like a creak. There's a little creak under my foot. You're not wrong, Sally. Absolutely, you're not wrong. So yeah, the Kromskis like wax. So if you're using a Kromsky, like you basically, when you buy a wheel, you need to find out what that wheel needs, because lots of them need different stuff. A friend of mine, she bought a Kromsky, she oiled it up, only to find that A, oil didn't work, but B, using oil voided her warranty. So yeah, you've really got to find out what your brand of wheel requires and go with that. So, oh, the creak of the wheel is so relaxing. Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know if I'm cool that you guys can hear my wheel creaking, but I'm cool that it's not off-putting. Just trying. Yeah, it's definitely under my foot. Rebecca Nelson got tired. Yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. It's time to move the doobie whacker. Here we go. I've been in spinning groups where this level of noise coming from someone's wheel, there would be someone walking around going, whose wheel is that? You're just like, oh, mine. I just don't want to like have to stop spinning and turn my wheel over and check everything. What wood is it made of? This one is made of Rimu from New Zealand. Sure that's the wheel and not your knee like that. I mean, that's a legit possibility. It could totally be my knee. Jen, I think Jen's a bit behind in the chat. I think she's like, I think she might need to refresh. So, maybe it's outside of your hearing range. Yeah. Stacey says we have a lady like that and it's always my wheel. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know what? My wheel had to travel in a car to get here. Like, sometimes something gets loose. Like, these wheels are pretty good, actually. But I'll be really honest. I haven't given this wheel a proper service in a couple of years. And I really should probably just pull it apart, clean it down, and put it back together again. Like, it does. I mean, wheels technically don't need that, but I like to do it every now and again just to double check that and it also keeps my because I do wheel repairs for people, but I don't do them very often. So if I'm stripping mine down and putting it back together all the time, then it keeps my brain going. It's a machine. How do they expect it to be silent? I know. Oh gosh. Yeah. It's a bit like that. I mean, actually, this creek probably wouldn't draw attention, but I've been at places where, like at retreats and camps for spinners, and like there's an entire room of spinning wheels, and there's one that's like really creaking it out hard. So yeah. Jancy is a beginner. Hey Jancy. Angela says, thank you all. It's been because of you that I'm getting through the tedious part of this shawl I'm working on. And yeah, speaking of coffee, hydrate. Thank you. I don't have any coffee left. I should have made one, but I didn't. Where are we at? Let's keep going. Yeah, the wee pig is 50 years old. Absolutely. Kerry says most spinning wheels chatter when they spin. Yes. I was at a retreat and someone actually would like her wheel would travel across the floor while she spun. Like it would like tap and move across the floor. I can't remember what kind of wheel she had. But she ended up getting like a really big like Teflon non-slip mat. Just threw that down first and it stopped doing it. But yeah, it's spinning wheels. It's like part of the charm. They're fancy twisting machines and sometimes they creak. Although the Majacrafts generally don't, unless you've forgotten to do something. Like check check that the pedals are lubricated. Oh, Steph says, I know this is totally off topic, but I keep forgetting to ask, what's the app you've been using for your Queen pattern? I've been using Knit Companion on my iPad for my Queen. Just the free version. I didn't upgrade it to the pricey version. Knit Companion is not so good on Android, I have to say, but you could totally use any PDF file opener. The advantage with the Knit Companion, it does let you drag like a highlighted line so you can see where you're at, but you really just need anything that lets you open a PDF. So yeah, but I'm currently using Knit Companion. When you are ready, that bit you pulled off that's sitting all alone on your left leg. Oh, yeah, that'll go. Once it's had twist in it, I'm not going to use it. It's rubbish now. Some people add them in, but for me, I'm like, you know what? I can't be bothered dealing with it. It's just a little bit of white. Bye-bye. If you're in the chat, put in your favorite application that you use to track your patterns, whether it's, and specify if you're Android or Apple so people know, so they can check out some for themselves. Absolutely. And whether it's free or paid. So, yeah, so I use the free version of Knit Companion on my iPad. I don't like their Android version of the app. I think they've dropped the ball on that. NYC Princess, I've not heard of that wood yet. It's a native wood from New Zealand. These wheels are made in New Zealand. But you've made spinning wheels years ago. Wow, nice. I love handmade spinning wheels. I really do. The only catch is bobbins, like trying to get the bobbins that fit. And that's one of the problems with some of the older wheels now is the wheels themselves still work, but the bobbins are missing and things like that. And if you don't have the right bobbin for your wheel, it's not going to work. Sally's the same. She's using Knit Companion on the iPad for free. Holly uses paper and a 3-ring binder. Molly uses the iPad Books app. So, like, you know, like I actually do use paper as well. So because like I'll just pause this for just 1 second. Have a little fingers break. So this is my queen as well. Because of the queen and how I'm doing it, I've got like 3 repeats of like different charts. So I've got my chart 5 here printed out, and I printed out 3 times with all of the color changes and everything written in. So while I use the Knit Companion app for the individual rows to keep track of where I am in the whole chart, I'm using pad and paper. So I'm actually using a mix of both. I just needed my hands to have a little break here. My fingers get a bit stiff. Lots of pens and papers, and Vampy says I either print mine or use the Adobe Acrobat on a PC. Chintami says I don't have a printer, so I just use a rose counter. Bob Curran says Knit Companion on Android. Paper and pencil is my favorite. I was hardcore pen and paper up until last year, right? Like, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to stop. Hardcore pen and paper up till last year. And then when I was moving all this stuff around, I found all these projects that I'm working on, and they've got their needles, they've got everything in there, but their patterns aren't there. And it's like, sure, I can download that pattern again, but what about the notes that I took? Because I do write in the margins. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I've changed to this size needle, I'm doing this instead, blah, 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 blah. And then I realized that I was missing all of that. So there was a shirt, there was a grey silk shirt that I'd started. I'd only just started it. But I'm like, what size was I doing? What, you know? So I actually had to pull it out, go through the pattern, start again. So now I'm making sure I get them all into my app and do it that way. And like, sure, something could happen to my iPad and then the app's gone and then there's the same problem again. Like, it's like just losing your paper all over again. You can totally download it again, but it's gone again. So you just have to choose whatever works for you, which I love that there's just so much choice here in the chat. Like, everyone's got something different that they do. Yeah, Steph, pen and paper kept getting lost. Me too. That's why I moved. Beersheba is paper with a magnetic whiteboard with magnetic strips. Francis says, I also use the free book app on my iPad. Yep, lots of options. Lots of options. All right. I'm just going to have a little stretch. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready to go back. I'm ready for more spinning. Okay. All righty. Are you guys ready for more spinning? Are you bored yet? Are you bored? More spinning until you tell me you're bored. All right. Socky feet. Now I've got 2 creaks. That's annoying. Like, what is creaking? Sorry, back to the chat. Nope, never not bored. I'm not lumber. Oh my gosh. Holly, you guys are keeping me company while I pack for Comic-Con. Oh my God, you're going to Comic-Con. Oh, that looks fantastic. Oh, I'm so jealous. Like, I don't like crowds. I don't cope with crowds, but I push through it for Australian Comic-Con, which I know is like got nothing on LA Comic-Con. Oh, I've got some other friends that are going to it as well. Gosh, sounds like a clock ticking. I like it. Yeah, it's not too annoying. I mean, I don't like it because I know it's not supposed to be there, but it's not like overly aggressive sound. Yeah. I reckon I probably just got like a screw loose under one of the treadles, and then it just probably needs a relube, and then it's done. Then it won't do it. And I probably should have done it before I started today, because I noticed it when I was out in the lounge room the other day. I was just like, oh yeah, I need to have a look at that. But when I've got the TV on and I'm like watching like a blow 'em up movie, like London is Falling or Geostorm or, big boomy movies, then it's I tell you when it's not good to have like a creaking noise like this, when you're watching Supernatural. So because I'm in a re-binge of Supernatural. I'm up to midway through season 9 this round. Anyway, it's some episodes of creaking, ticking noises not helpful. Yes, San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, it's your 8th year of going. Oh my gosh. I'm very jealous. Hall H is where I want to look. I want to look at Hall H. That would be my first stop. I think it's everybody's first stop. Any spooky show for that. Yeah, agreed, Freaky. NYC Prince Mark says, I made everything for the wheel, not people getting mass-produced ones. My background is woodwork. In my life, I've learnt various traditional crafts, varying to guitars. Oh, wow. Sally said you just listed all Gerard Butler movies. And so? I love Gerard Butler movies. He's my favorite. Between Gerard Butler, Mishan Collins, and Jensen Ackles, I'm pretty well settled with like some great TV at the moment. I usually do dress up, but this year I'm just going in a Star Wars t-shirt. Nice. Angela says I quit going to big conventions because there's just so many people. It's insane. Yeah. Holly says I've only ever gotten into the Hall H twice because it's crazy. I just watch a lot on YouTube. One thing I miss, the biggest thing I miss, like, because I've only ever watched it from afar. I've never watched it like from there. But I used to love the Zachary Levi event that they would run at the same time, like Nerd HQ. And the interviews, and it was just something that was amazing. And then for insurance reasons, even before COVID, but because insurance reasons, they had to stop running it. And it was just so disappointing. They were the best panels. The creak matches when your right foot treadle is depressed. Yeah, it does. It's definitely under my foot. Sally says, and Henry Cavill. Oh, yeah, okay, and Henry Cavill. All right. I'm kind of looking at all these like in my mind's eye, like place, and I'm like, do I have a type? I don't think I do. Rebecca says never been to Comic-Con. Yeah, I've only done Australian, like Brisbane Comic-Cons. I haven't even done Sydney ones. Holly says I used to go to Nerd HQ panels, and the panels there. I used to go to Nerd HQ, and the panels there were wonderful. They looked Like, they looked fantastic. They looked so much fun. Like, I would literally watch them because they would stream them live. So I would watch them live. I would be like, right, this is the event. I'm like, family, don't talk to me. I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. And I would literally watch like as much Nerd HQ as I possibly could. I miss it terribly. I get why they couldn't run it anymore. It doesn't mean I don't miss it. I feel the same way about some of my favorite Twitch channels. I understand why they're not there anymore, but I still miss them. Yeah, definitely Henry Cavill from Molly. Yeah, but you know what? I'm like not Henry Cavill from Witcher. For me, it's more like Enola Holmes. Like, Witcher's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Witcher, but like the Henry Cavill, like the more clean cut. Like, I reckon he could legit play Bond. I'm just thinking, what was it called? There was one that he did with Arnie Hammer, and my brain won't give it to me. It was, they joined forces. There are 3 special agents. There's the English chick. What's funny is the English person was not Henry Cavill. He was the American person. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Natalie. That's it. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Absolutely. I love that movie. And I was so disappointed when they didn't make more. It was definitely set up for them to make more. And then they didn't make more. I reckon Arnie Hammer and his crappy situation probably had something to do with that. Artsog was like, yeah, fair enough. Oh, Holly says, once a year I got to meet Nathan Fillion and Adam Baldwin from Firefly. Oh, wow. I watched Oddball last week with Abby. Last week or the week before? Anyway, recently. I had no idea that Alan Tudyk was in Oddball. So what made me remind that, for those of you that don't know, is he was also in Firefly. Yeah. Oh, Freaky's like, can we get 200 likes? Let me just look. No, we can't. It's not physically possible with 41 current viewers. We have to share it out to like a million people to get 200 likes. So, yeah. But yeah, no, so much fun at those events. Like, well, sorry, they look so much fun. The last Comic-Con I went to, or was it a Comic-Con or a Supernova? No, it was a Comic-Con. They had the cast from Warehouse 13 here. And that was fantastic. That was just amazing. The panels were phenomenal. I even did the photo thing. I'd never done the photo thing before. So I even had, like, I got the chick who played Micah, she signed, like, I got autograph photos of hers. And then I went and got the photo boothy thing where you get your photo taken with them, with both leads from that show. My brain's not giving me their names. I'm sorry. Well, they're real human names. But also, because I went with a friend, we actually shared and we did the photo together, and we both like did copies of the photo with William Shatner. That was insane. Holly, absolutely. I've got the link to today's video, so go and throw the photo of your last cosplay in the fun zone. That would be amazing. Oh, I loved Warehouse 13. Like, there was an era of amazing sci-fi. Warehouse 13, Eureka, and Haven. Like, I was in my element. Oh, hello, fluffy bit. Let's get rid of you. Back under tension. Fluffy bit gone. Okay. I'm just like, oh, I just threw that on the ground. I'll have to get that later. So I was just like so disappointed. And then I got some message that like Eureka is on Paramount Plus or one of them. And I've gone in there and it's like, nope, no, it's not. Maybe in another country. Like, this isn't fair. Where are we? Oh, you loved Haven? Absolutely. Haven was so good. Oh, Freaky says that since I got my new account, I can't find any buttons that say join the group. Oh, hey, can somebody pop in a link to the group so Freaky can follow the direct link? It's a bit crazy. Bye, Steph. Have a good night. Oh, you know the writers, Jamie Delano and Alan Moore. Wow. Okay. I think writers are phenomenal. Like just coming up with new worlds and, you know, making it so that they can be explained, and we get to travel to them either via books or via TV shows. I'm always blown away by the skill. It's something I'm not very good at, but I do love being able to like immerse myself in a world that somebody else has created. I think it's fantastic. I'm such a nerd, you guys. Like if you haven't worked it out yet, A, you're really slow, and B, total geeking out on all the things. Like totally sidetracked by Comic-Con. Oh, bit jelly that I can't go. There's so many things I want to do. So many things. And at the moment, I'm doing nothing. So, you know, just feeling the FOMO is what's going on. I'm feeling the FOMO. And just, you know, I'm sorting out some stuff here and I'm feeling good for that. And that's the reason why I'm not like traveling and doing anything crazy. I've got a sewing retreat for my birthday. Is the first thing that I will have done since about this time last year, I think. And then I've got the Fiberific retreat, which I'm so excited to be going to. I actually forgot I'd booked it to go into the sewing retreat until they messaged me. Oh, there's a fun zone link. Awesome. Kelly says that's awesome. I've been needing more shows to watch. Absolutely. Yeah, Haven is, and like a lot of them are really tricky to find. Like I've got them, so I don't need to find them. I've got them, so I can just watch them. But finding somewhere to watch them, if like, because they were Sci-Fi Network, which in Australia is Foxtel, except they're not actually showing them on the Sci-Fi Network anymore, so you can't watch them via Foxtel. So I'm feeling a bit like that with some very non-nerdy content that I like to watch. Guilty Pleasure Mystery 101, which is a Hallmark production, and I can't watch that anywhere here at the moment. And I was able to watch it originally on Amazon, like on Prime, and now it's gone. I can't even watch the episodes that I used to watch, and there's all new ones out now. And just apparently there's nowhere in Australia, like nowhere in Australia is playing them. Have you seen the John Constantine film? Yes, I have. Quite a few times, as a matter of fact. And the last time was 2 days ago. I was sitting there spinning, watching Constantine. We are talking the Keanu Reeves version of Constantine, because that's what I'm thinking of. Francis says, I'm going to Spinners Retreat with my mum in September. So excited, as this is the first year I've been able to go. That is fantastic. Oh, Angela, rewatching Red Dwarf. Oh my gosh. I love that show. It's so terrible and so awesome. Like such the cheapest budget. It's so good. It's so good. Is Wendy off? Bye, Wendy. Sally says it used to be on Foxtel, but not anymore. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, how do I put it? I never had Foxtel. I didn't like how much Foxtel charged for what I consider to be a very light offering of content. And now it's just like, okay, so I've got Netflix, I've got Amazon Prime, which I actually think is the best value out of all of them. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. I managed to lock in Disney Plus on like an annual before they bumped the price up, so I've got a really good deal there. Amazon locked in for an annual when they very first started up, so got a great price there. But I don't know what I'll do when a lot of these things come back up again. I'm like, will I keep them going, or will I turn them off? I don't know. I mean, I don't go out, so having good streaming stuff is nice. Being able to choose something to put on, because oh my God, how trash is actual network television? Like, it's just so disappointingly bad, especially through the day. Like, I normally have the TV on in the background while I'm doing stuff, or when I'm having my lunch and stuff like that, and the options are just like smash your head into a table, because that's just as many brain cells as you're going to lose. I hate, and I know some people love it, but I really don't like reality TV. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I sometimes I'll watch it and I'll be sitting there like going, what am I watching? Like these people know there's cameras on them, right? Like, they know that the entire country is seeing what they're doing. Yeah. Freaky says my mother liked Red Dwarf in the early days. Yeah, it was so good. I seen a post on Facebook about spinning, and I asked, will you be teaching or learning? Did I get an answer? I don't know. Was it a question to me? Because if you ask me, the answer would be no. Francis says daytime TV is the pits, some good stuff on the ABC and SBS. Sally says I have Fox Crime on in the background, so shows like NCIS closer. Yeah, I've got those on. Is it Paramount? I think Paramount. No. Yeah, Paramount owns CBS, so we get all the CSIs, all the NCISs, all those sorts of shows. And Disney's got shows like Bones and Finder and all those sorts of ones. Yeah, it's just trying to work out what's going to be where. But then you've got something like Sci-Fi Network that's nowhere, and Hallmark that's nowhere, and you're just like, oh, come on, really? I know Australia's not big as the US, but we do have quite a few people who like to watch TV here. So we're not all paid actors. Oh dear. But yeah. Red Dwarf was on Friday nights right before Carry On movie when I was a teen. I loved it. One of the joys of having a sick day from school was the midday movie. Yeah, absolutely. I usually watch everything on YouTube now. Parents hog the TV. Yeah. Look, we've got there's 3 people in our house, and we have 4 televisions, so we can all pretty well watch what we want to watch. And then quite often I'll still sit in here and put something on the screen rather than sit out in the noise and just, kick back here with my feet up and do something in here. Sci-Fi back in the day used to have great programming, not so much today with Space Channel. Yeah, the Sci-Fi Network used to be phenomenal. It really did. And now you kind of got to like hope that networks like Prime and Apple TV and like these other actual portals, they're the ones making the new sci-fi now. Like the Orville is pretty funny and cool. I like that. All the new Star Treks are fantastic. I'm so enjoying them. They're on Paramount Plus. Yeah. I didn't really get into Discovery, like Star Trek Discovery. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. But one thing I'll say is because of it, like I watched a couple of seasons, but because of it, we got like Strange New Worlds, which I absolutely love. So thank you to Discovery for that. Holly says, I found a photo and it's been posted. That's awesome. Sally says 2 people in our house and we have 3 TVs. I'm just sort of thinking like we have 3 people. Like we're a bit of a tech junkie house, like for a start. Like I'll lay that out there. Abby's got 2 laptops. One is for school, one is one I've given her, like the school one, school supplied. I've got 2 laptops. One of them is here connected to like an external monitor. Tim's got, and I've also got an iPad. Abby's got an iPad mini. Tim's got his work laptop and his Samsung tablet. And then we've got, well, how we normally end up with extra TVs is a TV starts dying. And we don't like to wait until they're dead before we replace them. So what happens is the dying TV is still too good to throw out. So it gets moved to somewhere. So at the moment, the TV that we had in the lounge room is in our bedroom. But it's got like purple blotches everywhere. Like you only watch that TV if you've got no choice to watch TV in any other room. And when it dies, it'll die. We won't replace it. So it's just there until it's dead. So, yeah. Sometimes it's just because things have been moved around. Like Abby's laptop in her room got moved on because it was no longer suitable for what I was doing. Just, I watch every spin-off from Star Trek. Yes, that's awesome. Discovery was a good sci-fi show, but it just wasn't Star Trek. It felt too different. I agree with you. And I think that's the problem I had with it, Artsog. And I don't think it's bad sci-fi. It wasn't the feel that I was used to for Star Trek. But I still like it. I just have to think of it differently. I'm just having a look here. My craft just got interrupted because the cutest tiny old dog needed snuggles. Aww. Francis says only one TV, but many laptops. Yeah. I like the Orville, Angela. The Orville's fun. It's a really fun show. It's kind of like Star Trek, but with real life humor, if that makes sense. Like, I've enjoyed it. I definitely think that it's worth watching if you've got access to it. And I think either 4th season has just come out or it's about to. I think that's how it works. So how's everyone going? Are we still enjoying all the spinning? Like, I can't believe we're spinning for the whole live stream. I really thought you guys would get bored and want me to change over to something else. So, I mean, I'm chuffed because we've nearly gotten through one of the nests. This is why I didn't get finished this week. It's 2 hours and there's still this much left of the first nest. And we've still got this much left to go. So it's not the first nest, but it's the nest that we started on today. Ruth says we have 4 TVs and 4 people. Yeah. I could not finish. Freaky says I couldn't finish the Orville's first season. Might try again. Yeah, look, I try not to judge a show by its first season. I really do. And I definitely don't give up after the first episode. I tend to watch at least 3 to 6 episodes. But then I do try to make it through the first season if I can. Because things change. Kathy's off. Early appointment, so she's got to get some sleep. Fair enough. Vicky's enjoying watching the spin. That's awesome, Vicky. We have loved the spinning and the chat too. Hope your neck's okay after this. Yeah, there'll be some serious stretching happening. I probably could have dragged the laptop closer. Now that I think about it, next time we do some spinning, I'll be making some more changes. But we probably won't spin for a while. Because, how often do we spin on a wheel for live stream? Like once every 5 years or something? I don't know. Lisby's really happy I've spun. Thanks, Lisby. We spin more often than we wheel spin here, just because it's normally easier to set up on the table. I just need some water. Oh, kitty. There we go. Get some tension there. Jiggery pokery. Hang on, I just got to fix it up. Oh, go the other way. Thank you. Get some twist in there. There's some twist in there. And some sparkles as well. All right. Is Caffeinated Crafters tonight? Oh, it is, but I can't go. Tim's still COVID positive, so I'm not going to go. Hang on, let me just check the calendar. 1st and 3rd. First, it is. You guys can all still go though. I don't have to be there for you guys to go. So, but you guys can all go and have fun and send me a photo of something yummy. I'd love to see you post some photos of your bobbins in the fun zone, as in the yarn that you have spun. Yeah, I can do that. I can probably find something. I was waiting for someone to mention that, Bob. No, I don't have hand knit socks on. Do you want to know why? Because I don't have any. I don't normally make socks for myself. No, these are. Do you know what? These aren't even my socks. I stole them out of Abby's bedroom. These are Abby's socks. Oh, yeah. No, not even hand knit socks. I mean, that would look cool, wouldn't it? Hand knit socks from some hand spun that I've made. I did have some hand knit socks. They've died. They died over time, and I need to make some more. Ruth says, now I hear the creaking. It's soothing. I'm glad it's soothing. I would hate for it to be like off-putting and annoying. I've got gold sparkles everywhere. You guys should see my shirt. I'm covered in fluff. Yep. This is a total, like, I was like, you know what? I normally lint roll my shirt before I start a live stream. I know, I'm very tragic like that. But today I was just like, I'm not gonna, it's pointless. Now you have a project for this yarn, make socks. Oh no, this isn't sock yarn. This is going to be something beautiful and not that sock yarn's not beautiful, but this is going to be for a shawl or something. This is lace weight, it's not 4-ply. I've got plenty of sock yarn. I can make something with sock yarn. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I should make some socks. I've got like 3 pairs on needles that I've got to finish. I've got lots of single socks. I get bored and make, you know, odd pairs. So I should make more socks for me. Who was it? Someone I was talking to, and they've got like over 100 pairs of hand knit socks for themselves. And I just sort of sat there just like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I would love 100 pairs of hand knit socks. So yeah, but I haven't. I should. I actually enjoy knitting socks as well. I don't hate it. Bub says I had to use an apron while spinning the Batt. Yeah, and I probably should have put one on. I've got like a little spinning lap rug I quite often use. It's like a little quilted thing a friend of mine made for me. And you just rest it over your lap. Will you knit or crochet with it? I think I'll knit with this one. I'll have to wait and see how it looks once it's plied up. But I'm thinking knitted, maybe some beads. I don't know. I'm not sold on the beads with this yet because it's quite busy yarn and it's already got sparkle. But I love working with beads, so I might just have to get some sort of clear with a gold line bead or something like that. Something simple. I mean, the pink ones would be great because, you know, I've got 11 billion of them, but I think it would be too much. So, you know, we've got to, I still want to like wear it. I don't want it to be so over the top that I never wear it. And I'm a pretty plain person. Like when it comes to clothing, I like plain clothes. What I'm wearing today is pretty stock standard for me. You know, like solid colored linen pants and a solid color shirt. Oh yeah, like whenever I decide, like, you know, when I'm making what I want to make, I could always add beads in. Yeah. I watched the film the other night with Halle Berry, The Call, and I certainly wouldn't have wanted any creaking happening around me. I was so scared. Yes, there are times when a creaking wheel is not ideal. Oh dear. Yeah, no, I there's definitely things that I would not like to watch with this sound. Even though I know I'm making the sound and it's in front of me, my brain would still mess it up because brains are evil like that. They're just like, there's a noise. Oh my God, is that the same noise from the TV? That's like, do you guys remember when I got the internal water feature in the house where we had that hailstorm and then we ended up having to get all that work done? I was watching Supernatural when that happened. And it was a ghost episode. And in the ghost episodes of Supernatural, the air gets cold and the lights flicker. I'm sitting there watching Supernatural. All of a sudden, the air gets really cold because we're just having massive hailstorms, right? And then the rain starts. And next thing you know, I can see this flickering light out of the side of my eye, and I look over and the entry light is just flickering off and on. And I knew it was off because it was daytime. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I saw the puddle of water forming on the floor and I was just like, the rain's coming in here. Like my brain instantly jumped to the real world then. It was like, the rain's getting in the house. And so, yeah, but initially that's not what it was. So yeah. Sally, have an awesome appointment today. Morning, Dizzy. How are you going? A Gothica with Halle Berry. Oh my gosh. No, there was the water had gotten into the ceiling and was actually running down the insides of the walls where the power switches were. And so we had to have like a whole section of the roof replaced and like the walls had to be cut out and replaced and repainted, and yeah, it's not awesome, let me tell you. But it was also quite terrifying at that moment until my brain clicked to what the reality was going on. Not a ghost. It's worse. It's worse than a ghost. I have to deal with insurance company. So yeah. Oh my goodness. The next IKEA is the first Thursday in August, whatever date that will be. So there is one tonight. So if you guys want to go, please go. But I'm not going to be there. And then the next one will be the first one in August. I really want to go because I haven't been to one this month. Dizzy says it's lunch break time with a hook and you lot is good. That's awesome. Dizzy says so many of my kids have spicy flu. I love that terminology. My classes are really quiet this year. Yes, Dizzy, IKEA is back on. It has been for a couple of months. But I'm not going to be there tonight. It's still the first and third Saturdays of the month, just like it was before. Starting at sort of 6-ish, 6. They do kind of kick us out by about 8:30 now, though, not 9. Well, no one has to be in charge, Freaky. Everyone just goes and crafts and eats their dinner. No one needs to be in charge. It's not like a meeting where we take minutes and take a roll call. That would be a boring meeting. No one would want to go to that. I wouldn't want to go to that ever. So, yeah, that would be horrible. Well, let's go to a craft group where we have to take minutes. Oh my gosh, no. It's got to be fun. Thursday nights, Dizzy, not Saturdays. Yeah. Oh, Leanne's got it, yep. First and third Thursdays, absolutely. Starting at around 6-ish. Oh, there we go. Well, I'm not going to rejoin that because there's still this much to go. I am going to set it up so that I don't lose the end. Oh, don't do that. Come here. Get some twist in there. There we go. Wow, we have done tons. Like there's only this much left on that original sort of one to go. Then we've got that one and that one left. So we're doing good. We're getting there. Got 2 hours of spinning in today. Like that is legit awesome. Like my goal is 15 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. I don't know. Is it 10 or 15? I can't remember what I wrote down. But that was more than that. That was more, and that's okay. So Chintamani will be there. Awesome, Chintamani. Yeah, the spin buddy from Lumographic. Oh no, look, I've got one. I just automatically I've tried the Velcro dots. So what Chintamani's talking about is on your wheel. Quite often people will put something to make it so they're little, you know, when I do that little twist over the ring. There's lots of different options. So some people will use like a Velcro dot they've stuck to their wheel so they can just stick it on. Other people use like a spin buddy where you kind of wrap it around it and it just hangs. I just do that. I don't have any problems with that. I've got the spin buddy. I don't use it. The negotiating another craft equipment purchase. Don't tell the gamer. Oops, I read that out loud. Excuse me. Hopefully he can't hear it. Angela says, I need to see if our IKEA would allow a crafting chat. So what I did was myself and a couple of the ladies like that I wanted to come along. We went and did like a test run. And so we went in, we went and did test run. We went and had dinner and sat and crafted. And then we got hold of some staff just at a restaurant area. And we just said, hey, look, is it okay if we have sort of say 10 or 20 people? We would sit over in a corner somewhere and just sit there and craft. And they're like, is everyone going to like buy something? And we're like, probably. And they're like, then yeah, we've got no problem. But they don't book us an area or anything like that. But because of the time we get there, it's pretty quiet, so we can take over a spot. But everyone who comes orders, like goes and gets food and drinks, and then we sit back and craft. I can't see why they wouldn't, Angela. But it depends on how busy it is. Like for us, the one that we go to on a Thursday night, it's not super busy. So, oh, good. He's not there. I didn't give away any secrets. Because that would suck. Like he'd be like, wait, what? Gamer Widows is getting some things? Is she now? But yeah. So no crafting chat for me tonight. Not crafting chat. No caffeinated crafters for me tonight. But if you guys want to go, you go. The Tour de Fleece is winding up. So keep an eye on those posts in the group. There'll be an additional post after Tour de Fleece for us to post all of our sort of everything photos. So if you've still got everything around, I know some people make something and move it on pretty quickly. But if you've got do a layout of all the things that you've made during Tour de Fleece, and you can throw a photo in of that as well. So yeah, there's heaps and heaps of stuff coming up in the group. And we'll have to decide if I keep spinning next week just to finish this if I'm not done yet, or if we're back to the queen cowl, so that I don't give up, because I don't want it in the back burner. I don't want to stop making it. So I will. I'm going to head off. I'm going to see you all next week, or in the fun zone, or on Instagram. You know, all the socials. Follow me on all the things. And I'll see you all later. Have a great one. Have a nice weekend as well. Bye now.